hungry enough to eat lunch.
Little elf.
Dr. Dope, meet my cousin Lunch. I was giving him a ride home.
Lunch. What an interesting name.
So yeah, I miss cartoon shorts. So right about now, I'm working on another video talking about some redacted elements of TV history, and I guess just more so informing myself on something I've watched for my entire life. Truthfully, I'm trying to figure out where we're going with streaming, but first, I need to learn what happened. Like, how did we get so many cartoons? So, if you're new to my channel, which I'm assuming you are because the statistics say so, I'm a relatively new video essay person, but I've got a few bangers in the tuck. I'm definitely, making my way, getting my bones, or whatever that phrase is. If you haven't seen any of my videos yet, I just want you to know that my personal favorite and my actual piece de resistance, my classic so far, is my Anastasia video. But besides that, I think probably my first actual video essay was my Fall of Episodic Cartoons video. There were a lot of things that I said in that video, but most importantly, I fell upon the changes that we've seen in cartoons since streaming. That video took almost a year of just thinking and juggling and putting ideas together to make a coherent enough video. Best thing about making these videos is that the thoughts don't stop. I'm still looking up a lot of things and trying to figure out a lot about animation history. And I'm hoping that studying a lot of that will help me figure out where we're going next. But yeah, all that research ended up leading me back to a much simpler time. I'm gonna be annoying in this one because I'm gonna just keep referencing to the redacted video that I have coming out at a later date, but I'm not actually gonna say what it's about. Maybe if I get like a little further in the script, it's not gonna be redacted, but up until I figure out when I'm actually gonna put it out, it's just gonna be redacted. I don't know what to tell you. I really with this redacted video, alright? Anyways, animated anthology series like Cartoon Sushi and Cartoon Cartoon, formerly known as What a Cartoon, were a fad of the late 90s up until the mid 2000s, and I kind of feel like they were genius. It was a natural transition point from the clip show format of cornerstone series like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, and it gave animation veterans and rookie animators a chance to really flex their skills, taking a lot out of their secret projects that they were working on in the back of their heads, or reprising their final projects from their university days and taking them to a platform to fully flesh them out. It was a safe space to try animation styles that had never been attempted before, but it also worked as a way to get your name out and your end product out to a viewing public. I know nowadays there's actually a very lively indie animation scene that's going on here on YouTube. Check out some links in the description, but prior to, I want to say 2010, independently animated projects weren't even a real thing. If you were to go back to, I'd say 2008 and look at any animated series created in the US, you would see that a large percentage of the creators started off on one of these anthology shorts programs. So now that I put that preamble together, we can finally get into some of my favorite shorts blocks, and I'll even show you some of my favorite shorts of that era.
Now, here he is, the most animated mouse in town, Mickey. We're gonna start. Max is after my job. Oh, what am I gonna do, Minnie? I don't know nothing but show business. It's my life. Can we show the clip?
Has been seen leading police on a wild ride. The driver is an unidentified resident of Toad.
Here, Peter, take this note to Mickey right away.
Your guide on some Def Cab for Cutie. Let's grab a smoothie.
So first things first, we're gonna talk about House of Mouse. And I know, I just did that whole excerpt about shorts and animation styles and whatnot, and this technically isn't even a real short show. Well, it's not one in the way that the rest of these are, but let me land, bro. Disney's House of Mouse debuted in 2001 and was produced by Robert Gainaway and Tony Craig. It was a retooling of the show Mickey Mouse Works, which came out a year or two earlier with pretty much this exact same concept. The show took a dozen or so Mickey Mouse shorts from over the decades, reproduced and retuned some of them, and aired them as a short block similar to how Disney's competitors were producing shorts at the time. I actually remember watching Mickey Mouse Works one time at, like, I'm assuming my babysitter's place. I don't really remember it specifically. I just remember that the presentation of it was super weird. It felt like it was a DVD situation where you could click through shorts or extras, but you couldn't because it was on cable. And that's a distinction that doesn't really sound very significant nowadays, but it makes me really, really sad. But looking back at it, this definitely gives DVD extras vibes. Like, I'm actually surprised I've kept some of that in my brain, and thank God they came back with House of Mouse. The premise of the new show had Mickey Mouse and the rest of the Toon Disney residents coming into a nightclub to watch a series of skits. But the skits were presented almost as if they were short films, like it was movie night at the Apollo. Every episode usually revolved around some kind of mishap or some villain interjecting and threatening to ruin everybody's night. So Mickey and whoever else was backstage attempted to stop the mishappenings from happening. With this format, the interim moments in the club were pretty much shorts themselves, so there was never a dull moment. Now, as I said before, the clips themselves were mostly retoolings from the Mickey Mouse Works show, with some clips and gags referencing famous 30s, 40s, and 50s Mickey Mouse shorts. But the other half of the shorts included were brand new originals. The aim was to reimagine Mickey Mouse characters without actually changing the substance of who they were throughout the decades. At the time, there hadn't been a flagship Mickey Mouse TV outlet for over a decade, and although Goofy Movie was iconic, regular airing series like Goof Troop and DuckTales had already started fading out of the zeitgeist.
Excuse me, is this Sarcasm 101?
No, it's Lamaze class from Men Named Arthur.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm kidding. So you see, Marissa, England is famous for having awful food, so...
Why do you have to criticize everybody? I mean, I'm sure they have some good food.
Let's see, what was I going to say in response to that? Oh, right, I don't care.
Way to take a joke, Marissa.
Good one.
Hey, Marissa, whenever you talk, I want to have sex with you even less.
That's not quite sarcasm, Tom, but an excellent try.
Along with all of that, the show drew a lot of inspiration from sketch comedy programming of the 90s. Shows like All Def Comedy, In Living Color, and Saturday Night Live were super popular programs of the 90s.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I've always wanted to live in a house like yours, my friend. Maybe when there's nobody home, I'll break in.
Back then, they worked as the proverbial stomping ground for a lot of comedians that we do and don't love today. For what it's worth, it created a safe space where we could routinely check in on old and new faces of comedy, and we get to see their contributions on display. Today, it's kind of the cool thing to dunk on Saturday Night Live, but at one point, it was pretty much a kingmaker. If you had a good run on SNL, you were pretty much priming yourself up to be a household name. So I was talking about this with my older sister a few months ago, but I think the concept of putting them in a nightclub was actually brilliant. This was a time when cartoon studios were trying to figure out how to present some of their flagship A, B, and C tier characters, or how to put them in the same universe without being too ridiculous about it. We had Wacky Incredible Races, which is probably the first series that took advantage of that, but to try and reimagine these cartoon characters without doing something that extreme was hard. Especially doing it in a way that wasn't like babyfying them, because let's be frank, they've been doing that for a minute. I'm probably going to end up saying this part a lot, but I was actually surprised to see that only 50 or so shorts were produced for this show. It aired from 2001 to 2006 regularly, and then it kind of popped up sporadically after that, but it felt like this series was on daily when I was a kid. So to know that there wasn't that many episodes in circulation kind of feels strange, but then again, reruns and evergreen series was a default for TV back then. It's a little crazy to think that you didn't even need that many episodes back then. Like, this is really a bygone concept.
This is the Oh Yeah Cartoons symbol. When you see it, be prepared for this. Practically always new, definitely always different. Oh Yeah Cartoons. Every Sunday at noon, 11 Central, on the best place to turn for new and different tunes, Nickelodeon.
Oh Yeah Cartoons debuted in 1998, and it was created by the legend Fred Seibert, who is most likely known because of Seibert, along with the legendary Larry Huber, had helped develop the majority of early Cartoon Network series before making the big switch to Nickelodeon. As executives, both of these guys have done a lot to define the era of cartoons between 1995 and 2015, and Oh Yeah Cartoons is one of the ways they did it. All that being said, I actually don't remember a lot from Oh Yeah Cartoons, but I remember way more from Kablam, so let's talk about that. Kablam was a short series that aired from 1996 to 2000. And it's crazy that I remember more from this because it aired earlier and ended earlier than Oh Yeah Cartoons, but listen, they were airing reruns of this up until we was in middle school, so that's what I got. Kablam was created by Bob Mittenthal, Will McRobb, and Chris Viscardi. And it's honestly somewhere in the middle of a packaged series and an entire property on its own. I would say that the House of Mouse series is a similar type of anthology, but the difference is that Kablam had different but set returning shorts. The format of the show was this. There were a handful of short series that aired only on Kablam, and every episode was a combination of a select group of shorts. There was Sniz and Fondue, there was Prometheus and Bob, there was Action League Now. I used to put on episodes of Kablam and wait desperately to see what clips made it into the episode, which is how I know I was stupid because the shorts are pretty much in a standard order. But now, don't get me wrong, it didn't just start off as a group of returning shorts. Sometimes there were new shorts in there. I vividly remember seeing the different shorts because they looked so much different than the other things that were on Kablam. Like, just look at them. The first season of Kablam would routinely feature a few one-off shorts for animators and story writers who were looking to get their first series. Although none of the Kablam series made it onto Nickelodeon outside of Angela Anaconda. I think a few shorts caught the eyes of other networks, just like Mo Williams' short, The Offbeats, got him an opportunity to finally get his first show, Sheep in the Big City, on Cartoon Network. Each episode of Kablam is hosted by two characters named Henry and June, and they would present the shorts as they did a whole bunch of nonsense off screen. The series aired for 4 seasons, and each season had a set of shorts that were mainstays, and a set of shorts that were featured on select episodes, although only season 1 had the exclusive one-off shorts. One of my favorite things about the shorts is that they kind of just felt simple. In the House of Mouse, they definitely felt as if ideas were being moved around with respect to and referencing the old material. But in Kablam, I knew that for the next 3 minutes, this short was literally gonna amass to a fart joke, or something that kept a 3-year-old me entertained. My hands down favorite short from Kablam is Action League Now. This show probably defined my sense of humor to this day. I don't know what it is, it's just random, it's dumb, and it's definitely a good time. Action League Now was a show that followed a bunch of superhero action figures as they go on adventures. It was just a Justice League spoof, but like Superman and Friends Justice League, not the one with the black Lex Luthor. I really appreciated how plot driven each short was, even though the plot made no sense whatsoever. It was just a vehicle to see how many times they could run through a series of gags, and that still cracks me up. Watching it now, you can almost hear the voice actors trying to remain calm, saying literal nonsense. Action League, like many of the regular Kablam shorts, used unconventional methods of animation. It was a blend of stop motion and live action you rarely get to see these days. And honestly, it wasn't even really like stop motion, it was more like a 3-year-old's perspective of playing with their toys. The way the show is able to frame and pose the toys against real life, and often moving objects, really reimagined the type of slapstick humor we've always loved in animation. After Kablam stopped airing, the Action League shorts were repackaged and aired as their own series, but it was really just the shorts from the 4 seasons of Kablam. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but definitely a legendary short series to me. So, I came into this video wanting to talk about What a Cartoon. And as usual, the script took a life of its own, and now I'm wondering if I can fit it in here. And I don't think I can, so instead of talking about that, I'm gonna talk about this.
Never break us apart. It's the song in our hearts. Keeps us together forever.
Disney Channel's Shorty McShort Shorts aired from 2006 to 2007. It was comprised of 13 shorts split into 2 seasons. Apparently there was about 20 something odd shorts created, but only 13 ever aired. By this time, short series were not as popular on any of the cartoon airing networks. The gulf between production quality of the shorts versus regularly scheduled programming kind of started to become more apparent. Shorties would air 7 shorts in 2006, which made up the entire first season, and it was not well received. After that, they went on hiatus before they aired 6 more shorts in 2007, and pretty much called it a done deal after that.
So, what are you in for?
I just hang out here because it's quiet, and there's nobody to make fun of me.
Sure is a tough place if you don't fit in.
If they could see I'm not obnoxious and see I'm just like them.
Wow, you've got a great voice.
Shut up!
The creators of these 13 shorts that actually got to air are pretty varied for the most part. There are a few first-time story writers and creators, but the majority of the programming featured creatives and writers who had featured on other series before and were looking to try and get something going. The most notable name I saw there was Van Partible, creator of Johnny Bravo, and he contributed his shorts to Fabulizers.
Hurt you? Don't make me laugh. Ha ha ha. So you've heard of us, eh? What tipped you off? My boyish good looks? Or my manly good looks?
Am I as studly as the statue of David or what?
Huh. Okay.
It's my thing. Don't dog on my thing.
Of the relative newbies through the door, we had creatives like Andy Seriano, character designer and storyboard artist for series like Tom and Jerry Tales, The Replacements, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and Rise of the TMNT. That's kind of crazy. His short, The Imperfect Duplicates of Dodger Dare, is actually one of the better shorts that I saw on there. Like, I could get down with this. In the Air 13, the most popular shorts were, if you couldn't tell already, Boys on the Run. It featured a pretty star-studded voice cast taking up the role of an NSYNC type boy band called The Boys. After an accident forces them into hiding, the short series sees them trying to get back on stage and revive their careers before they fade into obscurity. The way this song is implanted in my brain is actually atrocious. Like, I've been singing this randomly for years and I did not remember that it was from this series of shorts. I thought it was like from this.
I can't believe Baxter got the boys here.
Hey, yo, hold up, Skylar. Now's no time to be getting our tussle on. We needs to keep it real, Bromide.
Right on, dude.
Wait, hold up. There's no way.
Has suggested that the leader of the Titans, Robin, that would be me.
Besides having a pretty unfortunate runtime, there was still a diamond in the rough that came from this series. Even though it never aired, the first short that would become Fishhooks was produced in the batch of 20 shorts created for this show. It never aired under the Shorties title, but it was kept around internally at Disney and developed into a relatively great show. But yeah, let me know how you felt about the video, and if you had any other shorts from these programs or any other ones that really stuck with you, let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace.